tales about one of the strangest things of Davis as a country. So, metropolitan areas yes, exist in the country. There are some with full metropolitan areas spanning multiple areas here, multiple states here, and it isn't actually uncommon, like in most countries, to see multiple states in the country have metropolitan areas that lead into other states. Yeah. Here. But there are metropolitan areas that lead into basically nowhere. The one most, and again, this map is kind of outdated, but like these areas actually have more people. But we'll be going over every single one as well. Here. Again, I've not really named every single city in the country, so I'm just gonna be referring to. Yeah, and first is this area right here. So you'd think that the metropolitan area would basically go like this. Yeah. Yeah, but no, the metropolitan area goes like this. Yeah. And this entire area is basically rural farmland. Why? Is because of the states. Yes. So the state of Net has basically, blocked, land development, especially this county as well, making the metropolitan area look like this. Also, Davis has had population troubles as well, leading to not there being enough people to really settle this area as well. And this will actually be a common theme. A rural county that's mostly farms as well here, and basically, these counties have basically gained, and there has been some growth in the 2010s as well, in 2020s in this little area here, but the county's population overall lost population. This county in 2010, for the past 20 years, and the county has actually lost population. Yeah, and basically, even the city area, which has much more larger population density, as well as a much smaller county, its population has not really increased all too much since the 2000s. Yeah. Then we have this area right here. Yeah, and this is this area right here. You would think that this metropolitan area will expand into here. However, most of the metropolitan area expands south of the country as well here. Here. Most of the southern area has expanded here because this state is weird. So basically, this state is mostly rural area, Cobalt State, and basically most of the rural counties want to keep the rural charm that they offer. So basically, these counties have also been losing population. So you'd think that they would want to say, hey, you know what? So for example, these two counties right here, 2000, this county had a population of 4,000. In 2020, it declined as well. Same thing with this one in this county right here, which has slightly more people, but still doesn't have very many people in terms of population density. There actually has been a small movement in this area, but nope. Same thing could be said here. Like this area here has not grown, but again, this is a much more metropolitan area as well here. So, but this is actually a much larger metropolitan area here, and this seems to go into nowhere basically as well here. But this is one of the strangest ones because you'd think this metropolitan area to at least go into here, but does not. The other mysterious one is this metropolitan area. You'd think it would go this way, but it isn't a very big metropolitan area. It goes like this here, and it does expand into here and here. And these two counties here have almost no population to speak of as well. And this day is because, despite this, most of the metropolitan area expanded this way. So, expanded south of the area. So, there actually hasn't really been much plans to move north of the metropolitan area as well here. But yeah, this entire metropolitan area, kind of looks like this with a small population here, and and also these counties are much bigger, and they don't really have much population at all. Another one is this metropolitan area, but it seems that this metropolitan area expands this way and not this way into this state over here, which you would think it would, but it doesn't really here. That's because Davis has had a population crisis over the past 20 years. Well, this state alone's population has not really increased. It actually has decreased as well. Same thing of this state as well. Well, reached 1 million, 105 million, and 102 million as well here. So these populations have stayed stagnant, which is likely why the metropolitan area has not really expanded all too much as well. So, and of course, we have the most confusing here, this area right here. This area has been actually expanding as well here. So this entire metropolitan area has went from 55k to around 142k. This county has expanded to around 47k to 83k people as well here. Other one is here. However, very recently, and because this is the 2020s, however, very recently, this entire county has actually had spread into this metropolitan area. Most of this metropolitan area here, it looks like this. And same thing of here. There might be expansions in the 2030s as well as the 2040s into this little area right here. And it seems that, the other one is this area right here, but this doesn't really have many people really living in it. This isn't a very big metropolitan area either, so and we have these areas as well here, but there is really no metropolitan areas besides here and up here in the north. The northern Davis's metropolitan areas have not really expanded, have not really gained a lot of people. It is not as developed because, as we explained in another video, as southern part of the country, because of how cold it gets in the north, in this north, past this path here, and the population density correctly reflects this as well. Population density is much higher in the southern parts of the country. That's on 90%. That's like 40 million. Over 40 million people live in the southern portion of the country. Well, around 5 million people live in this northern portion of the country, which the vast majority of which live here and here and here. So, and the state here as well. So, yeah, yeah. Goodbye.